I actually don't know the answer to that question. I've got
secret you're not
very
going to let
no,
go?
I don't. I mean, my Clifton Strengths test will tell you I'm a future thinker. For me, the only thing that one can actually do to help you think better about the future is just to read and learn.
Yeah.
I'm actually, when it comes to business management and leadership, I have many more weaknesses than I have strengths. And actually, I think that one of my strengths is acknowledging that I have a lot of weaknesses. I actually mean that because I remember doing my first ever psychological kind of profile assessment, and it showed me how riddled I am with weaknesses. And I went on a learning journey. This was about 10 years ago. I went and studied a whole bunch of stuff to fix these weaknesses, and I just became worse and more unhappy. And then I decided to focus on what I was good at and hired people to do the stuff I wasn't. And they were brilliant at it, and suddenly things took off. Look, I actually think that working out where the world's going to be in 5 or 10 years is not that hard. It's depending on what's looking at it, whether it's an exponential or linear progression, you have to read a lot of stuff, piece the pieces together. Realize an important thing, which is that humans really struggle to understand exponential growth. And so we tend to overestimate technology in the short term and underestimate it in the long term. You always think your next phone is going to be better than what you end up getting, but the phone in 5 years' time is so much better than you can imagine. And once you innately kind of process that, something like artificial intelligence, I have a lot of debates with people, it's not going to, it is. AI is growing faster than people expected, even myself. And I expect it to grow fast. And I think it's going to be doing so much more stuff than we think. And actually, I'm really excited about that. I'm not fussed about all the jobs being gone. The only thing I worry about in that whole thing is South Africa, because we don't have a workforce kitted out for last century, let alone this century. I do think we have an opportunity. What many people don't know is that South Africa was one of the few countries in the world that leapfrogged the developed world in terms of television and TV technology. If you were early in TV globally, you ended up on the inferior platform. It was the same as mobile phones. South Africa leapfrogged the world in mobile phone technology. And I do think that from an economic workforce skills perspective, we actually do have that opportunity. We need fairly urgent action around education particularly. But I do worry about that because we already have a huge unemployment problem. It's really reaching a tipping point, a very negative tipping point. And artificial intelligence is going to make that so much worse unless we can get on top of it. But generally, from a global perspective, I think AI is going to be the best thing that ever happened to us, provided we don't, get enslaved by the robot masters, which is a slim possibility.